Nick All-Stars Brawl 2 is very interesting. Hello everyone, my name is Gambit and welcome to Infamous Synergy. If you're new here, we are happy to have you. If you are not new, welcome back. Before we get into things, I wanted to thank everyone for the reception the channel has been getting recently. I'm really proud of the work done here so far, and if you also enjoyed the content, I would really appreciate it if you liked and subscribed. We just hit 100 subscribers very recently, and I'm looking forward to our next goal. Now back to the topic at hand. Nick All-Stars Brawl released this year on November 7th, and if I'm being honest, it was quite a pleasant surprise. I bought the first game and like many others was very disappointed. I can go on about things like balance or the voice acting, but to be honest, I really never got into the game. I genuinely think I played like 4 matches and did some training and then called it quits. Overall, it just felt very bland and sadly cheap. Even the announcer didn't sound excited. There were a lot of iconic choices making up the roster, but still, the animations, effects, and everything else were just really plain, and of course the voice acting was missing as well. But there are plenty of people out there who have already covered that. It just really felt like a half-baked idea. One thing was very clear though, the devs did care about the game and wanted it to succeed. I mean, the game had a very notable promoter in the voice of Hungrybox, and of course, it's a Nickelodeon game. That's a huge property. So having a very well-known face in platform fighters and also being under a huge company, there was a lot of hope for this game to really do well. Hungrybox had communication with the devs and everyone was on the same page. Nick All-Stars Brawl was meant to be a competitive experience first and foremost. That is something blatantly the Smash series has never succeeded at. So what happened? The game wasn't very well received for a variety of reasons and eventually just fell to the background. They eventually added voice lines to the first game down the line, but it wasn't nearly enough to save it. Fast forward to July 27th, 2023, and a reveal trailer dropped for Nick All-Stars Brawl 2. Reasonably, when they announced the second game, I was very skeptical. The first game really failed to impress, so throwing money towards this one was a really tough choice. Honestly, in my opinion, due to the first one's failure, this one should have been free, but I understand the company needs to make money somehow. I did watch some of the trailers as they were coming out, and the game looks like it made a lot of improvements, but I didn't overanalyze it by any means. Then I saw Azula was leaked to be playable, so I was interested. I mean, who doesn't like Azula? Finally, around release, a friend convinced me to buy it, and here I am now talking about it. I did try the game, and it felt weird at first, but that is just the case of a lot of new fighting games for me, but after playing over 20 hours by the time of this video, Nick All-Stars Brawl 2 is a step up in almost every way. Besides the exclusion of Toph. But it is a step up in almost every way. First, let's talk about the visuals. They really gave this game a new coat of paint, and it paid off. Characters look more lively and have better stances, the colors of the stages just pop more, everything. When they said they were going to give Nick Brawl 2 a visual upgrade, they meant it. They even added supers. Actually, these aren't that visually good, but even just having some extra visuals around things like the stage select or having characters who visibly have different shields like Cora using a wall of ice or Raphael using a sewer lid, it all just adds more to the experience. The first actable screen when you load up shows the characters and effects as well as while also keeping a very simple layout, making it easy on the eyes. You know where to play locals, the campaign, and online right off the rip. And of course the game has the much more energetic music as well. These are a couple of examples. Take a listen. So yeah, they have some pretty good tracks. I mean, listening to the Chum Bucket theme literally makes me feel like Sephiroth is about to barge into my room. And there are plenty of other bangers available to hear while brawling it out. But debatably the most important thing is the combat, and how is it? Honestly, it feels great. I did start out as an Azula main, but made my way over to Cora instead, and I really enjoy flying across the stage or using my up special to get high up to catch an opponent. Learning combos feels so easy and fluid. I can easily piece together what is going to connect, and it gives me a sense of freedom as a player where I don't just have to learn one set of moves to always string together. Being on the attacking end feels great, and there are plenty of possibilities. I do really like the fast feeling and the outright, for lack of a better term, brawl you and your opponent are having against each other. And there is no way I can really touch on the combat without touching on the newly introduced slime mechanic. This was probably the best decision the devs have made. If you're unfamiliar with the new slime meter, let me introduce you. This is a 3-bar meter system that allows you to do multiple things, like enhance your special moves, like this is Injustice or Mortal Kombat, or you can use 2 bars to throw out a sparking burst option, like this is Dragon Ball FighterZ. You can even use it to cancel moves, allowing you to be even more creative with combos than the standard movesets provide. You can use meter to create a perfect shield, preventing you from teetering on the ledge / losing your position if this has ever happened to you, which I am taking a guess it has. You can make poor recoveries great, or do an air dodge dash movement if you want. It really feels like the possibilities are endless here, and I cannot stress that enough. This single implementation of an idea is going to make this game from a standard platform fighter to one that really lets you express just how skillful you are. And that's the thing I really do like about this game. When I lose, I do feel like it really is all my fault. I could have used my slime meter to cancel and get an earlier kill, or I could have used it to mix up my recovery. There are always options to improve, and I genuinely see myself learning more and more every day I play. It's amazing. This game even comes with its own campaign instead of boss fights. Yeah, that's right, boss fights. I thought I was playing Nicktoons Fighter 6, not Elden Ring, like geez. I have yet to fully go through either of these options yet, but it's super cool to have them available as single player content. Nick All-Stars Brawl 2 has so much potential, but it's not perfect. I definitely do have some of my problems with the game. For instance, some of the roster picks from the first game I was very sad to see not make their return. Mainly Toph, of course, but other additions like CatDog, Sandy, and even Shredder, who came in as DLC, being gone is really unfortunate. I understand the need to have some cuts, but I feel like we could have cut another character, for instance like April, and have Shredder there instead, or who really wanted Gerald? Make room for someone else. And I do understand Nick's need to make money, but did they really have to pull something like Overwatch 2 would do with the cosmetics? They charged $20 for a new skin pack for the entire roster, which isn't a horrible deal, but almost no one is interested in playing the entire roster. There are 0 options to buy the skins featured individually for the character you want to play. The game was already $50 to begin with, when honestly it probably should have been free after the first one. One of my biggest issues so far though is there is no option for D-pad controls. Hello there, Future Gambit here. I'm just now making myself aware of the fact that they are adding D-pad controls in an upcoming patch. I do really wish that it was there in the base game, but I'm glad they added it eventually. Anyway, carrying on. I said earlier it felt great to be on the attacking end, which is still true. Admittedly though, sometimes being on the defensive end can feel a little rough. Some characters can link things together so fast that if you don't have an extremely fast option to throw out, you can feel like you're trapped, even when trying to DI your way out or dodge. I do wish knockback speed was a little more clear. There are a lot of times when I feel like I can make it back in frame and think I will survive, but after holding on for a second, my character will still fly out of bounds. I do not like the lack of ledge trumping as well in this game either. I understand Melee did not have it, but it always felt like a scummy tactic to me. Even though there's a good handful of things that I don't really like about this game, there's a lot that I really love. Nick All-Stars Brawl 2 is a fantastic sequel, one that I hope continues to be a phoenix rising from the ashes. Between the well-represented characters and the fresh competitive scene, I am really looking forward to seeing where this game goes. If you have not yet given Nick All-Stars Brawl 2 a go yet, I heavily recommend it when you get the chance. Thank you everyone for watching. I will see you in the next one.